Ah yes, Tron. That one franchise that Disney thought will actually make it big but end up being the people under. That one franchise that's known for being that really nerdy underground franchise. Like in the vein of Golden Age Star Trek.
This is going to end in violence!
Is that one Daft Punk music video. It's that one IP with the cool looking disc and cyberpunk motif. It's that one stage that appeared in 2 Kingdom Hearts games.
Who was that?
Sark.
Who? You're very persistent, Tron.
I'm also better than you.
We would have made a great team.
You know, the ones with, "Say fellas, did somebody mention the door to darkness?"
Oh nigga, you gay!
Yeah, it's that one IP. And now suddenly Disney decided, hey, you know what? Let's make a new Tron film 15 years after the initial one came out. And let's do an even better trick. Let's go and cast Jared Leto, you know, Dr. Michael Morbius at your service to be the main star of our new Tron film. Yeah, that will totally bring in the millennials, man. Yeah, even though, you know, that guy's accused cult leader and also he's a bit of a creep and the internet does not like him.
9-inch nails, man.
So yeah, before I actually get into the movie review itself, I want to talk about my experience with the franchise, because at first I wanted to split the videos up to make a whole entire retrospective on Tron, but I was like, nah. I mean, there's no point stretching things out because my channel's not even monetized, so...
I can't eat! I'm broke, nigga! I'm broke!
I also have a saying. I don't care.
Whatever, I'm just going to keep it short in like one video. So anyway, I want to put this time frame here so you guys can go straight to the review of Tron Ares, and yeah. His head looks like a penis. So the first one I watched was Tron.
No shit.
And all I gotta say is that the film was pretty strange. I kind of dig the atmosphere, the art style is pretty inventive. Even though the visuals are a bit primitive, it still had a bit of personality that kind of gave it its charm. And Jeff Bridges. Yeah, besides that, the film's just...
It's alright, like...
feels a bit aimless, kind of. It just feels like things just happen for the sake of happening. One part, they're just in, I guess, some cage. The next scene, they're just, like, in the arena. Then you see this big computer dude who's called the MCP, and, he looks strange, and Jeff Bridges is with this big guy who only says no and yes and repeats, and oh yeah, that's one thing, like I like the big guy. And Tron in this film, he's kind of there. He's meant to be the main character, but it's actually who is. So Angie, I wonder if this franchise won't have this recurring problem of having the main title character be placed in the background for most of the stories, because that would really suck, huh? And yeah, the music. Well, I think the work that Carlos did was absolutely, fitting for this film, because it has a lot of synthesizers, you know, pianos, very, you know, Disney-esque, wondrous soundtrack. But the problem is that it's pretty much a soundtrack where most of the songs aren't really listenable outside the film, which is a huge detriment because this franchise will soon become, you know, absolutely renowned for its soundtracks. And this film's soundtrack definitely is not it.
It's nice.
We thought you were dead.
Where's Flynn?
I'm just glad we met Flynn, you know, he was such a good and nice dude. And man, he is such a really amazing kisser. And then you got Tron Legacy. And my thoughts on it is that I think the film is a pretty cool and underrated gem, because man, the music and the visuals are like sex. They literally just connect and intertwine with each other to give you this beautiful blend of cyberpunk dystopian
Wake the fuck up.
badassery beauty. Badassery beauty. I mean, like, really cathartic beauty. Like, no film to this day looks like Tron Legacy does. It has that really dark and sleek cyberpunk futuristic vibes. I love how they made the lights really feel more dominant within the world compared to how the original Tron is. Mostly because they have this great idea of having the whole entire world of the grid just be like black, being lit by like neon lights, so it gives the film a very like contrasty vibe that's very predominant throughout every single facet of the world. Like how you have this awesome detail of like literally the sky having digitized lightning and thunderstorms and rain just being, you know, like bits. That this is indeed set within a video game. Especially the sound design is absolutely top notch.
For the love of God! Please!
This is directed by the guy who directed the Top Gun and F1 films, and
vice versa.
like the dude has an eye for providing very immersive shots, world building, very immersive, like everything. He just wants the viewer to feel like they are in the world there. And then you can't talk about this film without Daft Punk.
Now this I can do.
Donald Trump, please save me. Please save me, Donald Trump, please.
I think they probably made the best soundtrack of the last 20 years. I don't give a fuck. Like, yeah, there's a lot of amazing film scores that came out, but this one is the best one. Like, to this day, I just listen to End of Line, The Game Has Changed, The Grid, Outlands, Rinsler. It was debatably one of the most, like, kick-ass music tracks in not only film history, but literally music, whatever. D. Oh yeah, besides those really great points, yeah, the story, characters, writing, it's pretty mid, I can't deny that. The critics are right. Besides, like, the visuals and music, everything else is pretty... whatever.
Biodigital jazz, man.
I mean, main character, is that even legal? Sam, whatever, he's pretty much like the archetypical main character white dude you see in all those mid-2000, late 2010 films. He's pretty generic. I mean, the best characters definitely has to be Clue, Rizzler, and...
Yeah.
And then you got Olivia. I do recall Cillian Murphy being in the film, playing Edward Gilligan Jr., who's a part of the Gillinger bloodline.
I really need you to fuck my sister.
So yeah, besides that, I don't really recall much of anything in the film besides the really badass action and amazing ways the film literally ties its music with the scenes. Oh, what's this? A TV show. What is it called? Tron Uprising.
Almost done. I'm working on this all day, right, Luce?
Yeah. Done!
Nice!
Yes!
Alright, high five.
Hey, what the fuck? You got a fucking problem?
Why have I not seen this show before until now? Because yeah, the Tron fans are right, this show is very underrated, and it is a criminal crime that Disney decided to X this show. And it's mostly because the show managed to do something that the other two entries kind of failed at doing, and that's by making a cast of characters actually give a shit about. Like, they each got proper character development, they have some really good banter, they know how to play off each other really well, actually give a shit about what's happening.
You weren't exactly programmed for fighting, were you?
No. Aerodynamics. Aerodynamics.
I knew it. I told you.
The visuals in the show, even though they're very unorthodox and a bit strange, they kind of work well. In fact, they work really well in terms of the action, because the action in the show really surprised me. I was like, holy shit, this show has some really well choreographed action scenes. I did not expect that. I thought the really weird art style would make it really clunky, but I'm like, nah, I think like the really long limbs really enhance the flexibility and expression these characters pose with each other when they're fighting to the death, especially during the death games. Like, man, the show's, the atmosphere is really top notch, and yeah, it's a really cool show.
I don't know. Looks like junk to me.
What did you do? What did you do?
They managed to do the thing and make Tron actually an interesting character. It really shows his grief and his like frustration, what's going on with the grid and the state of it. It really highlights how much of a complete badass he is, because in the original Tron, he is meant to be that really badass mofo, but you really couldn't tell. He just felt like some dude, honestly, that Flynn just casually interacts with, even though he's meant to be like a big deal. In this show, you can definitely tell that he is him. Like, dude literally gets half his face rezzed off and he does not react at all. Just pure aura farming on everyone, including Clue. And also, interesting thing, I had no idea that programs can be this damn horny for each other.
Maybe we should slow things down.
Like, holy shit, I thought I was watching a kid's show.
There's anything wrong with that.
I just find it amusing.
I don't want reliable. I want dangerous.
You are
Program.
I really appreciate the world building. I really do love how it has a lot of nods and clues to what's gonna happen to the events in, you know, Legacy, and the ISOs being
Amazing.
Do not full run!
Under my command. Fuck them kids.
and how Tron becomes the Rizzler. And of course that would never happen because, you know, Disney decided to cancel it. Because Disney decided to cancel it. Because... So yeah, I just came back from my screening of Tron Ares, and I must say, it's actually a pretty decent movie. Like, I don't know what's going on, man. I'm going online and people are just absolutely like crappy on this film non-stop, and I'm just like, it wasn't as bad as what people were trying to make it out to be. Well, anyway, let me start off with the non-spoilers and let me give out some positives. I thought that the film's music was absolutely like top tier. Really great stuff. Jared Leto, even though he's very controversial, I actually thought he was a pretty good character. Like, his character was quite compelling. And Jared Leto actually had a good sense of charisma with his performance, even though he's playing that of a very, like, you know, cliche AI who's very sentient and all that stuff. He actually has a bit of charisma and plays off well with the cast, even though the other cast don't match his energy. He still manages to do a really convincing job of an AI who's becoming, you know, quite conscious of himself and actually has a cool mouse swagger with his performance. I thought, you know, the Dillinger that even Peters plays, he's pretty good in the film. He had a lot of energy. He's a pretty good and compelling villain somehow, especially what happens with the ending really does kind of give him a bit more depth in it, which I did not expect from seeing all the promotional footage and all of the, you know, the actor himself. So seeing where they were taking his character made him very interesting in hindsight. Then you got Dina, the actress playing her. She's an absolute baddie, by the way, but besides that, she isn't as compelling as like Ares, but still, the actress who plays her has a lot of energy and ferocity for her performance that gives her a really good, you know, villainous role. No, she was pretty cool. She couldn't have been compelling. I know I'm just giving out some negatives now, but yeah, whatever, you know, she's okay. And then, yeah, that's it for the characters. And then you got the visuals. They're amazing. They were not joking. Watching this scene in BFI IMAX was such a money well spent because the grid looks absolutely stunning. It has a very like more, you know, hellish militaristic vibe to it, which fits well with the whole fact that this is made by the Dillingers. So it's really meant to look kind of bleak, but it has a bit of a kind of like beauty to it, which I can't really describe without going more into detail. And the action was pretty decent. I thought the action kind of peaked around the middle though, like the final fight scene in the city. I thought it was fun, but kind of went on for a bit longer. And yeah, those are the positives. The negatives is mostly that of, yeah, of course, people were enjoying the script is a bit messy, but I wasn't really bothered by it, as what our critics were making out to be. I thought like the rating was going to be like atrocity levels of bad, like atrocity level bad, like Jurassic World Rebirth, War of the Worlds type of bad, but I was like, no, more like it's just pretty like middle of the road. Like, it has some compelling cases they want to do with the characters and like the world and what they can do with the grid, but they just don't go beyond like the surface level. But then I'm like, the other Tron movies literally had the same problem, so that's not really that big of a complaint. In fact, the writing wasn't the worst that I saw. It was okay. There's some moments that made me chuckle, and that mostly is due to Jared Leto actually being quite witty with his responses for being an AI, so I was surprised at how funny Ares was actually. Not the film, but the character himself. And then Flynn's cameo, very like minimalistic. I don't even know why he's in the film. It doesn't really feel like he should be there. It felt like he was just there because, you know, he appeared in another film, so you might as well put him in, even though this film, he doesn't really feel like he belongs there. The whole 1982 section of the Tron part is kind of small. I wish they went more longer into it, because the way they recreated the original Tron film is very, very impressive. Like, I was actually impressed by how they even put in like film grain, like Jared Leto and everyone to get to really achieve that really old school retro feel. They did it really well, and it felt like a complete trip seeing, 2025 Jared Leto in the world that's literally based off a 1982 IP. It's so crazy. But it shows how far technology has come. So the side characters weren't really that compelling. They were just kind of there. I don't know. They just existed. Like, they didn't need to be in this film. I thought the pacing was a bit short, which is crazy because people complain about how long films are. But I was like, I thought a film like this would definitely work better if it was actually a bit longer, so we can have a bit more time to actually explore the grid and also what the AI stuff is going on and see more developments and all that, because this film goes way too fast with everything. I think the film jumps the shark way too quickly. It shouldn't have been a lot more slower, or something like how the 1982 Tron was, because that film actually has some good pacing. Despite it being a bit awkward, it still has better pacing than this one, and Legacy way better pacing. It's not even a comparison. And man, the way the programs were integrated to the real world was kind of underwhelming. I thought I'd been a lot more into it. It just felt like they're based off of timers, so I guess they need to be on the time, so it's pretty much like Terminator. I'm like, eh. But I guess my bigger problem is that I've seen all those really amazing trailers of seeing like how the civilians are panicking. They see the fucking badass looking recognizer wrecking shit. I thought it was going to be like some really big badass ending where you're going to see like the National Guard come and fight a bunch of programs. That would have been so cool. Instead, the film is very like lenient on not putting much emphasis onto the actual war or scale of the fight, so it feels very like self-contained for like a big city invasion, which is crazy. It shouldn't have been a lot more bigger, but I'll explain more in detail. So if I was to give out my overall thoughts, I'd give the film like maybe a 6.5 out of 10. It's a pretty decent watch. I don't think it's bad. I actually think it's worth watching in cinema just for the visuals and 9 Inch Nails. And if you love Tron, I think it's your moral responsibility to go and watch this in the cinema, because the ending literally teases so much great shit that we could potentially get. Okay, now for the spoilers. And the first thing I gotta confirm is that they indeed got bits. Yeah! They got the yes theme from the original Tron. And all its like 64-bit glory. Sark. Anyone who actually played, Kingdom Hearts 2 or just watched the original 1982 film will know who this guy is. He's pretty much like the second lieutenant to the MCP, who, by the way, throughout this whole film is pretty much like Jared Leto's Ares, which was kind of a cute touch, I guess. Well, apparently, like, Dillinger gets teleported straight to his grid, and now he pretty much has the original disc from the original film, and he's pretty much going to turn into the shark from the original Tron film, which to me is like, holy shit, that is so hype. I've never been this hype for a mid-credit scene in my life. Yet I was so like, my god, I'm so giddy when I saw it. I was like, oh, they got a shark in this bitch. And I never really gave a shit about him, but now I do, because what more Tron? And speaking of which, they're hinting that Sam and Cora might come back. Same with even Lori, which is absolutely crazy, because she did not make an appearance in like Legacy, and nobody gave a shit about her disappearing. So seeing her being hinting at coming back is like, holy shit, I'm actually interested, especially with how like Ares is now apparently more or less like a human being now, which is not really that surreal, because Cora from Legacy pretty much became a human being by the end of Legacy, so it feels almost like not that special that he's human. But even so, it would be pretty cool to see like at least the second confirmed program to become human interact with another programs. So it does really give me some hope that he might cook some really interesting plot lines with that, because yeah, so much potential can come from this franchise, and that ending, that amazing ending, is hinting at that they know what they're doing, that they really do want to appeal this film to fans of the original Tron, because honest to god, this film feels more or less like a damn sequel to that of 1982's Tron than that of like Legacy in so many ways. They got legit just iconography of the original. They go straight to the Flynn world from like the original Tron, and literally so much more emphasis is placed on that film over Legacy. It's literally just like, a bunch of like vague references, not really vague, more like just they just casually like name drop Sam, whatever, letting go of the company and all that, and have some visual references to Legacy, like the security guy with the coffee spilling onto the ground. I'm like, geez, man, like they know what they're doing. Like it feels like they're trying to make up for those who've been neglected from the original Tron, if that makes any sense, because honest to God, people do not even know that the original Tron exists, because Legacy did kind of a really mangled job at really highlighting the fact that this is indeed a prequel to that of the original Tron, so a lot of people still believe that Legacy is its own theme. That's why it's probably is one of the reasons why this film's getting a lot of hates online, is because a lot of people are going into the expectation that this is more or less going to be a sequel to Legacy, but it does make the film feel even stranger, because it's a new film 15 years after a sequel to a film that came out 20 years prior, and decided to go straight to the original one instead of focusing on the film that came prior, the most recent, the one that people in my generation grew up with. So now people have to do their homework just to understand what the hell is even going on with the whole NCOM theme. But honest to God, I think the film does kind of a decent job explaining it, but even so, people who have not watched the original are in for the trip when Ares just decides to go straight to Flynn's world, which is just like straight up 80s cheese in all its glory, unfiltered, and it's absolutely amazing to watch. But I enjoyed it because I watched the original Tron in preparation for this film, so I was like, oh, it's just like some grade A fan service. I love it. It even goes as far as to replicate how it uses its music in the film, in the sense of like half the music is just really loud and blaring, and then half you don't hear any music, it's literally just empty noise. I mean, it's notable because Legacy had it so that every single scene was accompanied with which fits well with that film's theming of being more like a very epic gamer's paradise. If I do say so myself, this film's a lot more like trying to tie with the whole military complex, so it feels very grounded and stationary. And to work off that point, I really do like how the film, the soundtrack here with 9 Inch Nails has been more of a electronical focus vibe with the lack of any instruments besides, electronica type of stuff. Really fits well the whole, this is a Tron that's about how the grid has been turned into a weapon, it's been turned into a military complex type of idea, instead of this like wondrous world of programs and AIs really living their own lives. Essentially, it has a very kind of cynical, darker edge to it, because that's what happens when you try to weaponize AI like that. It fits well if that's really well. Legacy is all about like the wondrous feel of the grid. Feels more like a celebration of it, with how epic and kind of like crazy it goes with the bass and shit. While the original is more like, very wondrous, first of its kind type of feel. Like you're just discovering this for the first time, just I could play like, like you had no idea that there is literally a program that literally is the same as you, living on pretty much the same shitty 9-to-5 job as you are doing in your own real world. There is also a really good scene with the real world interacting with the programs in the way of that light cycle chasing. The one that they use in all the trailers with that badass shot of Ares just slicing that police car in half. That seems a highlight. Like the way they managed to like incorporate it within the real world kind of works in the way they drive around corners and stuff, like how you do in the game. But since it's in city blocks, it's mostly through like very tight narrow pathways and shit, and there's all this traffic charging and shit. Looks kind of cool in real life, but also looks kind of lame. I don't know, it looks a lot more cooler when it's like in a game environment, instead of just like in the real world. It just makes it feel like a bunch of regular everyday cars, like just driving at very fast speeds with some big ass light trails that barely hits any other traffic cars in the city, which is kind of distracting because I thought it'd been more carnage, because you see how fucking long those trailways are. They are crazy. Maybe only like one other car gets affected throughout the whole scene besides the police, and I was like, how convenient that not a single person crashed into that damn trailway. I guess it's because you don't want to see Ares just, commit all this like accidental like civilian casualties or damage, so the whole scene just kind of happens there, and it feels a bit clunky by the end of it. But I still thought the attempts from the director is admirable. That's all I can say. It's a very admirable scene. Does it sound like I'm actually being a bit critical on this film now? Nah, I'm just getting started with this because this film does have some really baffling writing choices. Because the film, it's fun, but honestly, all the plot points, all the storylines, they don't really go much to the point. I don't really have much to remember or talk about, besides maybe like that one scene where he gets transported to the original grid, where the whole scene was so strange. So like Ares apparently was like, shit, we've been caught by Athena, and before that actually, like he was like very certain on the timer thing, like they have like around like a minute or so to do it, and I swear to God I was counting it, and I went, and it literally went past a minute, past point when they were just still fiddling around with the fucking computer thing, and I was like, bro, the writer literally is not keeping track on the time right now. This is so baffling. And then the even more baffling thing is that Adina, instead of just blowing them the fuck up, which will make sense, like, what is she gonna lose by blowing them up? Because I'm pretty sure Dillinger wants her dead, right? So that's why he literally transports her to the grid. So why not just blow her the fuck up, save her annoying ass friend who literally attributes nothing to the whole film at all besides being some really weird comedian dude who's not that funny. Maybe besides one chuckle, he just exists, so whatever. Like, why not blow them up? And then also after that, Ares decides to go like jump towards her, which I was thinking, oh, I guess he's going to like tackle her so that she can like fuck off or something. But then I don't know, he just barely misses her, and then he just disappears. Then he goes to the original grid, being all confused, like, oh shit, thought my plan actually would have worked. Then next shot, literally it's just Athena just staring at them, and that one comedian guy's all like, oh my god, he actually did it. And I was like, nigga, like, she's standing right there, like, you did not miss a damn thing. She is still there. Your threat is still in front of you. Why are you acting like the threat is not there? Are you dunce or something? And then of course she just decides to like kamikaze at their asses, and then they just barely avoid it. Like that Kim woman, I don't know what's her name, I forgot her because she's such a forgettable character. Like, she just decides like, oh shit, then just fucking awkwardly runs away, goes under the arcade cabinets, and Adina just comically like lifts each one over and over and over, and I'm like, just zap her, you fucking retard. What are you doing? And then the weirdest thing is that, yeah, she's about to like, you know, like that Kim girl, she literally is just cornered and she just accepts her face up running away. Apparently like the fire alarm just comes on at that completely convenient time at that moment. And then Adina, of course, she's just like Ares in the sense that, oh, that's very interesting. She gets distracted, she sees the timer, she's like, oh fuck, I shouldn't have been distracted by all the water droplets. And then she tries to like vaporize Kim, and then she just gets de-rezzed, and it's just like, what was that whole scene? That literally is the worst scene in the whole film, in my opinion. Like, that is the example that all these critics online are right about this film's writing being so half-assed, because that scene just made me go like, I can't believe people actually approved of this shit. I mean, I guess it's just to put Ares into that really amazing recreation of the original Tron grid, but the whole scene was so awkward. I was thinking, like, why not just rewrite it to make it more sensible, not have any of that really dumb, retarded stuff happening right before our eyes, man. It's like, because the rest of the film's writing does not even come to that level of just stupidity. But besides that, like, I mean, like, the trailers kind of spoiled the reveal that Ares becomes Tron, essentially, by having the lights being gifted to him by Flynn. So it wasn't really that big of a surprise for me, because it's stupid, like, Disney just spoiled it in one of their trailers. So I'm like, ugh, I don't know, man. Like him becoming Tron is a bit like, I don't think he did become Tron, but he is kind of is. Actually, he's not really Tron though, what am I saying? It's just that he skipped it with the blue lights, whatever, so he's now permanently in the real world. That means he can't be the rest after a certain amount of time. So yeah, he kicks Athena's ass in a kind of an underwhelming fight scene. I wish it went longer. I wish it was a bit more well choreographed, because the camera became a bit more shaky and a bit more amateurish. I was like, what happened? Like, some of the action, the earlier parts in the film was amazing. Like the opening scene, training montage of Ares going down on all these damn clones was so fucking hype. It made me go, oh, this film's cooking. When it says like, no, the film does not have as good action as the earlier first half of the film. So like that whole downtown Chicago fight seemed so underwhelming. I was like, oh, I want more destruction of the Recognizer. And the only reason why it's not that big is because it's pretty much the Terminator, where for some reason Athena is all like, I'm going to kill Dillinger's mama, I'm going to spawn in a Recognizer, and just spawns in like maybe 2 of these helicopter chicks, and all they do is just fly around trying to capture Kim, and that's about it. I'm like, shit, I wish it was more like a war between like the humans against the programs. That would been so fucking hyped. The trailer made it so, I mean, there were still some amazing shots of the Recognizer just raining through the city, really highlighting the scale of how insanely devastating and scary these things can look like in the real world. They look amazing. Like the shots of the Recognizer in that scene was top tier, but man, it got destroyed way too easy. Like it got shot like by like one jet pilot, and then that's it, on like one of its fins, and then bam, it's gone. I was like, really? Come on. I think it should take more to destroy Recognizer. And then the worst part is that there's only like 2 jet pilots. I thought it'd been like a more of those jet pilots. Instead, it was like, no, just 2. instead of having more, you know, like military destroying it, because that's kind of a big fucking deal, having this big like sci-fi cyberpunk shit spawning out of nowhere, wrecking shit. Instead, the US Army didn't really care. It's just a bunch of police and like literally a bunch of police and like 2 jet pilots fighting against the programs, which is kind of like, man. Speaking of disappointing, you know, they also got that really amazing shot of the recognizer just spawning in what looks like to be a bunch of missiles, but then to my dismay, literally it's just a bunch of like random program helicopters meant to look around the city to search around for the Kim girls. So I thought it was like a bunch of missiles just going through the city like a grid to blow up shit. That would be really fucking cool, devastating. Instead, of course, they try and copy the Terminator and they're just there to at least find her, which is like, come on. And the best part is that these guys do not really make much of a difference, because again, that annoying comedian guy literally is just like, oh my god, they're everywhere in the city. And I was like, oh, interesting. And no, they're not going to do anything with them. So they're literally just background dressing. They literally just disappear after that shot. Like, you do not see these guys anywhere else in the film. Like the final fight with Ares and Adina, she only called in like 2 helicopter pilots. I was like, where are the rest? Aren't they flying around the city? Why isn't Adina like summoning these guys to go and like go ham on Ares? Like, wouldn't that make sense? Overwhelm him, because he nearly got his ass whooped. He literally was such a pussy that he pretty much just gave up after he got thrown to the fucking car by Dina. I was like, okay, why would he give up for? And it wasn't until that Kim lady gave him his identity disc is when he was like, oh shit, I know how to fight somebody. So he cuts her hand off. She's like, I can't fight no more. Then they try to have some tender moment. Then she just gets de-rezzed, and it's like, again, this film's writing is so clunky that kind of, it doesn't ruin it, more like it makes me go, damn, I think they need to do another take on that, because that whole sequence was a bit Okay, this is literally the last one, but there is this big point about in the beginning, got the Dillinger guy, excuse me, you know, testing all these programs and stuff, so to showcase to the military people, which I thought will play more into this film, you know, the whole themes of weaponizing AI, but they kind of don't, because those military guys make like one appearance and they don't say a word. They just kind of stand there like props, and that's about it. It's like, again, the film just likes brushing aside stuff way too quickly. Like, have a lot of potentially cool conversations we can have about our trying times, but the film just ignores it or just moves on quickly, which to me is like wasted potential, and it's too noticeable not to point out. Even though I like the film, I'm like, damn. Because in terms of positive spoilers, I'm also like, it has to do with the music. And one example has to do with its use of what is it? I know you can feel it. You can feel it. Like, seriously, man, that scene, honest to God, is one of like top 10 scenes in the Tron franchise ever. Like, the way they fucking like drop in the water, make her like, you just see that scene of like Kim just feeling the digitized water and shit, and you got that really amazing wide shot of them just like guiding through the Dillinger's grid and all that, and I was like, this is absolutely breathtaking. And then you got the fucking like Trev's voice just screaming throughout the whole scene. I think it's the only scene in the whole film where you get to hear like a 9 Inch Nails voice in the scene, and it enhances so well. I was like, man, so sad that the film didn't have more use of the guy's singing voice throughout the whole film, because the guy's voice really enhanced that scene. It was such an intense scene, such a really fast-paced scene, really gave this whole idea that we're seeing like a very like corrupted, darker vibe of the grid. Like, this is not how the grid is meant to be. It just feels all messed up, but it feels kind of badass and grungy, which is what the film literally inspired to be from the very first reveal, because I think the film doesn't have as much of the grid and grunginess that the marketing kind of highlighted. It feels a bit too stereotypical and safe looking. Doesn't have much personality outside the grid. The film need more fucking grids. Like, they went to like the Edicom grid. I was like, I want to see more of that world. I want to see like literally how those programs function, besides just being like a program, a security zone, whatever. They barely do anything, and the fight scene there went on for way too short. It needs to be much longer. Man, the film needs to be longer, man. That's what I'm saying. Because, man, the grid, especially the way the film just omits the grid, it doesn't go too deep into it, just annoys the ever-living piss out of me. Like, come on, we need more grid. It looks really cool, damn it. Because I'm like, man, to this day, Legacy did it much. This film looks amazing, sounds amazing. The writing's pretty mid. But honest to God, I still think it's a really fun watch, and I did not regret one bit. Maybe I'll even watch a, rerun of it. If I have the money, I'll probably go and watch it again. Because honestly, God, I want to support this because I want to see what they can do with a Tron 4. Probably really go the extra mile and actually make a Tron film that actually has good writing to run through. Because for now, this film is kind of like messy, but it has a good amount of heart, and you can definitely tell that this director gave more of a shit towards the Tron IP than say the Pirates of the Caribbean, because that film, Pirates of the Caribbean 5, I don't remember it. That film felt like a paycheck movie. This one did not really feel like a paycheck movie. It just felt like the director is he needs a bit more refinement towards his directing style and improving of writing, because yeah, this film was close to being great, but it could be better. But it's a fun time, and I still suggest you guys should just like go and watch the film, because it's not bad. There's no film in the market that looks and sounds like this film, like all the electronica, cyberpunking vibes. It's so unique, it's so out there, it embraces its sci-fi weirdness. Gosh, if there's anything more I have to say, I don't know what to say, because honest to God, that's all I can say of this review. I give the film a 6.5 out of 10. It's a fun watch. It's not really as bad as what the critics are saying online. Like, I think critics online are a bit too harsh on everything nowadays. Like, I get it, the film isn't really that strong with its writing, but you're acting like this film is legit one of the worst in the year, and everyone's just boycotting because of Jared Leto, which I'm like, okay, I guess that makes sense because the guy is a creep, but I'm also like, I don't know, man, a lot of people in Hollywood are fucking creeps and really annoying bastards, but you don't see them getting boycotted or removed. Like fucking Brad Pitt, isn't he accused of being like a woman beater or something? That guy still is getting praised by critics and fans alike for F1 and all those films, and other Hollywood elites 100% are not good people, but they hide it behind all this prosper and not really saying much, but people give them a pass partly because Jared Leto is too public with how much of a weirdo he is, so he kind of is pretty much the scapegoat, so yeah. Besides that, I think the film's good, sort of. I did not regret my time, and honest to God, I think you guys should give it a chance, and yeah. That's my video. I went on a bit longer than I thought I would. I know I'm talking in a very low tone voice, but it's because I don't want to make too much noise from my housemates, so I'm talking very close to my microphone so that you guys can hear me clearly and not just mumbling. So yeah, the film, it was decent, and I guess I'll see you soon. If you enjoyed the video, please give a like, comment, sub. That'll be really great, guys. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. I'm going to now de-res myself because I'm tired of it all. Wow, this got really dark.